Hello, everyone. I'm Tamar Jacoby, President of Opportunity America, and I'm here today with Ian Roark, Vice President of Workforce Development and Strategic Partnerships at Pima Community College. We're here to talk about a survey that my organization and Lumina Foundation have in the field currently, a survey of community college workforce education. Ian, it's so great to be here with you because you really exemplify what we're looking at in the field in community colleges. You know, community colleges are doing some of the, in my view, some of the most exciting innovation in higher ed is going on at community colleges, especially around getting people ready for careers. And Pima Community College is really at the forefront of that. And so I'm eager to have a chance to talk to you about what you made of our survey and how you're going to use the results when you get them. So thank you so much for taking a moment.
Absolutely, Tamar. It's an honor and a pleasure. And on behalf of our board, our Chancellor Lee Lambert, our administration, faculty, and staff, it's just an honor to represent Pima today and have this conversation with you.
Great. So tell us, I mean, you said something really interesting to me in a prior conversation, that you found just the fact of filling out the survey. You haven't seen a piece of an item of data yet, but you found just the fact of filling it out useful to you. Tell me a little more about that.
Absolutely. So the context for us at Pima Community College is our centers of excellence, and an important component of that workforce development and career and technical education initiative is the integration of non-credit workforce training into our credit programming so that each of our centers of excellence become a holistic point of service for business and industry. So we were already thinking about how to stand up non-credit with more scale, with more quality, with more relevance, with more direct tie-in for working learners, both in the context of entry points into program of study, as well as lifelong learning. But we hadn't really done a deep dive into our own institutional data as to where we stood with our students and where and how we were serving them with these new paradigms. We have a lot of external data that we were really getting adept at looking at and utilizing. But this really, as we went through this survey, question after question, it was like, oh, wow, that's a really important question. We should have thought about that. And now that the question is here with us, we're going to use that as a baseline for how we're actually moving forward the center of excellence paradigm in reality and not just as talking points.
That's so exciting to me. I mean, I am not a pure scientist. I am in this to help colleges and help states, you know, figure out how to do what they do better. So that is really exciting.
It's not so binary anymore. It's not just credit or non-credit. It's about the students that we're serving and how are we serving them best. And so, you know, different categories in terms of how we're serving them really stand out. So is this recreational non-credit, for instance, or is this really specific to workforce development? We had to wrestle through questions because how we categorize things at the state level or institutionally is worded perhaps a little differently, but it made us think through and ask some important questions.
If there was any takeaway for me from the whole survey, like the results will be interesting, but if more colleges just start to track their non-credit data, that'll be a victory.
Right.
So tell me, when you get, what are you looking for? You know, the results, there's some preliminary results, not of Arizona, from some other states that got their results in early coming this week. Arizona's not one of those states, but you'll get results that compare your college to all the other participating colleges, probably in March sometime. You know, what are you most looking forward to? What do you anticipate doing with those?
So another context for us is the Reskilling and Recovery Network, and Arizona is one of the 20 colleges participating in that. And in the state of Arizona, we do not have any enrollment count or contact hour funding or full-time student equivalent funding for non-credit workforce training, whereas perhaps in some other states there is
not very many.
So from a reskilling and recovery framework with respect to equity, looking at the numbers of students who are self-funding to get non-credit workforce training as that entry point or to upskill or reskill for their employer, it's 80, for us, it was 80%. So when we compare that to our credit students, that was immediately an aha moment of the terms of the inequity. The dislocated workers that really need this paradigm of training are having to fund it on their own. And so what can we do across the state of Arizona and working with our partners in business and industry, with economic development, with workforce development, with chambers, and with lawmakers to advance an agenda forward with respect to looking at how we count this type of training differently in our state formula funding is really already a big point that came out of this work.
Yeah, 80%. Wow. I mean, nationwide. So in our preliminary results nationwide, it's 40 something percent. And I thought that was high, 80%. I mean, it just doesn't work. You know, this is how we're putting Americans back to work. We can't expect unemployed people to pay for their training.
That's right. That's exactly right. And
great,
so
well,
it was really a big wake up call. And there's going to be more conversation both locally and statewide around how do we address that immediately up and until and if policy is able to change, and then how do we use that to make the necessary policy changes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're on the same wavelength. Ian, it's great to talk to you. I'll be checking in again. Look forward to continuing the conversation. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes.
Thank you, and thank you to Opportunity America and your team, Tamar, for putting this survey together. It's been very helpful for Pima, and we look forward to using the results to better serve our students and our community.
Thank you so much.